day to you. This is Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears. I'm the host of that's an old channel, Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. This is the Maturity Project. Actually, it's the same thing, but it evolved into something more consumable. And that will continue to evolve. So, today's conversation. This is when you're going through hell. And you're going through the shit. When you got just the hardships of life, and man, it's not easy, right? Like, we've all been there. We've all been there. Here's the basics of why we're going through hardships. You have who you are as a total of who you are. Every experience you've ever had, every idea, all skill sets, characteristics, everything about you, genetics, the whole thing, whole frickin' enchilada. So, there you are. That's you. And then you have something going on in the environment that challenges variables of who you are. Now, think about it, you get it. You're like, yeah, no shit, Chad. Of course. Yes, but let's qualify a few things in this so that we can work with it. Because when you qualify it, you can start to define it. If you can define it, you can work on it. If you don't have that, it's real hard to strategize and structure much of anything. You can still do stuff, but it's the same as the equivalent of doing anything else that's not organized. You'll make some degrees of success and you'll have degrees of failure, but you cannot separate the fact you'll have emotional impact from it. If it is unsuccessful, the majority of people default to avoid that level of unsuccess or the lack of achievement of the desirable. So we're all going to have challenges. You've had it, you probably have one right now. It's usually the more important or the more attached you are to an outcome that it's the higher level of experience of undesirable, whatever. The challenge is signified by all kinds of things, but there's undesirable values to the challenge for the majority of people. If you go to the gym, you get used to it, your body's used to it, you have such a habit of doing it, you got a lot of stuff set on autopilot. Like for me, I'm going to the gym now. Go to the gym 6 days a week on average. I'm putting in the work because physically I have goals that I will achieve. And I have achieved a lot of my goals. And I get to sit in the joy of actually doing that. But I've gotten familiar with it. So whenever it comes to what's next and how to take the next steps, the degree of challenge it's barely noticeable for me because I'm familiar. I've got the habits that support it. I've got a lot of autopilot or a lot of second nature behavior associated with this continuous habit that's been associated with what I'm up to. I'm not doing it so that women are attracted to me as much as, and of course that's a benefit, but that's not my main motive. So that when a relationship happens for me, I don't get out of shape because that's not my anchor to why I do it, and the habits support the fact that that's not my anchor. So therefore, relationship, marriage, whatever the hell happens, I'm not driven to stay in shape for achieving getting a partner. So with that's part of it, right? I'm not attached to it, so I don't feel a high level of stress when it comes to it. It's a lifestyle that I've chosen, and I have built so many habits that support that lifestyle that I barely notice challenges when it comes to that. Now, I know there's going to be the unforeseen variables, injuries, things like that, illness, whatever it might be, that can throw a wrench in that. But I am not out to self-sabotage anything about that particular area of my life. Now, that can be an easy one to talk about. Most of us going on a fitness journey, we can relate to that. It goes into 7 other areas of our life. The fitness journey is typically surrounded by the physical, right? So when we're dealing with other challenges, here's the thing about it. Whatever the hell it is that you're facing that's stressing you, especially if it has a goal associated with it and you've gotten out of your comfort zone to pursue that goal, which I absolutely encourage. Just think on the back end of what you're working so hard to accomplish, Every bit of that challenge, if you shift your perspective and make it that what you're going through right now is the same situation or the same type of experience other people are going through or have gone through or will go through in order to achieve the same goal that you have. Think basic economics. If you have the supply of something other people value and you are the only or very few people that actually offer that, it doesn't have to be money. It could be relationship. It could be a lot of things that are associated with values that we have. Then you will be valuable enough that people are willing to offer resources in order to exchange for whatever that is. So, and those resources are not money all the time, right? They can be, influence. It could be just friendship. It could be they have contacts for you. It could be, there's just a lot of things that are represented. It could be they share their ideas with you and their thoughts. They could join you in your approach. In your process to reach something, like let's say you want to up your level of people's awareness about you and become an influencer of some sort, not just internet, but Hollywood is full of influencers, right? Entertainer, whatever, but they're willing to join you in that process. You have to achieve something that makes you stand out from the masses. If you have relationship issues, and you've always had these relationship issues with partners, and I mean intimate relationship issues, that would be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, that kind of stuff. If you've got those challenges and those issues, you want to stand out to become more of an economic value because you're willing to be different. Carbon copies don't do well. Sure, they're great to deliver the same message from the originator. You're either an originator or you're copying. So now we have variations inside of that. The originator is on one side of it, which is most ideal because those are the people that make changes in our species. Our history books are full of people that influence others. And then there's the people that do everything other people do. Well, if you do everything other people do, that's a well-worn path, and you have little to no value to anybody else because you're the same as anybody else. There's nothing special that makes you stand out in the economy of relationships. Now, you can bond with them and make them feel special, which is fantastic, and obviously we want that. Otherwise, you won't have a healthy relationship, but you want that to be reciprocal because that's how you get that reward from those deep relationships, is to have reciprocal basis and come up to agreements and all that. I don't want to do it down the relationship series as much as right now. Face those challenges that make you unique and make you different. Go through it. So you got to stand out. Stand out in whatever area you want to stand out in. So what's going to make you unique to who you are that makes other people go, I want to support this person. I want to be involved with this person's journey. I want to do something. If you're wanting to make money, you've got to convince people that you're the right person to give that money to. It's not always in this tangible product, but it could be in just following you. It could be that they're liking your videos, like with what I'm up to. It could be that they're out to, like my education, they want to consume it. So they want to be able to build up parts of their life or all of their life in a way that they can become more functional in reality and in other people's realities too. So you have to influence people to get to that point that they're willing to give that to you. You have to stand out. And how do you get to that point of standing out? Push through the hard times because others have been challenged by it. And you don't know about them. And you won't know about them because they gave up in the process. We know about people that have made big differences in life because they didn't give up in the process. And if people want to sit there and be like, well, what about these people that are ultra wealthy or they were successful because of their parents or whatever? Somebody started that line of change in life and made them all successful in their direct lineage. That's how this stuff works. It's not like one day they woke up and there was this lottery thing. They got involved. Somebody somewhere along the lines became that person that was different enough that other people gave a damn about being associated with them. Now, whatever that association is and all that stuff, don't get too far into the minutia of it or into the the full-on breakdown of it and too much of it at the moment, because that can be distracting. But just know that somebody somewhere along the line in their family made up their mind. And they made up their mind and they pushed through the challenges. They gave them the opportunities that put them where their family is. So if you want to focus on somebody on the downstream of that lineage, that's at your own peril. Take the lesson away from yourself because you shut it down. Well, you don't understand. You know, Bill Gates is not one of my favorite people. It's not. I don't care for that man. I think he's actually, I think he has more intention to be negative and to be the demise of our species because of his ideology. Now, but he hides himself through his philanthropy. Now, again, and I've got to be careful with how I approach this because I don't want to digress and then distract, right? The point of it is that just because I don't like the guy, I don't know him personally, but from what I do know of him, I definitely think he's not a virtuous person. I think he's a vice-driven person. Does not mean I don't learn from him. And it doesn't mean that I don't look at his family history to figure out how he got where he is. Because you want to be successful yourself. And if you have children, you want your children to be able to take opportunities in those success as well. We have this movement now where, you know, everybody's like, well, it's the boss's son, or they got where they are because of their father or their mother or whoever. Sure, maybe. And you are where you are because your family history has done what it's done. Are you going to interrupt that and make it that you could give that to your own children and be the prime mover that gets us your family there? Or are you just going to sit there and complain about people? Because that's what you want to do, man. Get a box at Cracker Jacks and go sit in the stands and watch everybody else play the game of life. Because that's where you belong. You know, that's what you choose. It's not me. So if that's what you want, fantastic. Go do it. But you won't find me in the stands with you. I'm down in the field, and I'm getting my ass kicked. And I'm winning. And I'm getting my ass kicked. And I take joy in it. Because I know that every challenge that I'm willing to face, others aren't. And for the ones that are driven by vice, I have to go through this shit in order to get there, because I've got to bring the virtue to keep it balanced. Simple enough, right? I put a big game on for me, and I put a whole lot of weight on the plate that I'm playing life in. You know, mixing analogies here, but whatever. You know, I put a lot on the line because I wear a lot of stress. I put on a big game that I'm really playing into because I want different for everybody, enough that they can build the life they want and be fulfilled like they want. If you need to go get your box of Cracker Jacks and sit in the stands and criticize other people about what they're doing instead of looking at what they're doing and try to figure out how to better your own place in life and develop yourself towards your goals, then you can sit up there in the stands and eat your Cracker Jacks, man, and look at everybody else and complain about what you see going on in the game of life. Fall into the drama. To me, that's a pressure cooker. Some people will never get out of the pressure cooker, and they're going to encourage you to stay, because every time they talk shit about another person, all you have to say is, they will eventually do this about me if they're not already doing it. Because if you don't have a purpose, drama fills the void. You get up to shit that means nothing in the bigger scheme of things. You're sitting around like a Yelp reviewer, you know, about other people's lives. And I don't know how you feel about Yelp reviewers, but I think the majority of them are, you know, filling a void. That's why you get such critical people. You know, now it's great to know what's going on, you know, and if food tastes good or, you know, experiences are decent, but the majority of that's tainted by expectation, tainted by a sense of empowerment. There's so much shit to it. So yeah, whenever I say Yelp reviewer, I put a negative connotation on it because of what I've experienced as the majority, or just people that want a bitch. And they want something because if they don't get what they want, they'll complain about it until they do get what they want, or they get their pound of flesh. Petty as shit. Petty people. I can't tell you anybody I know is a professional Yelp reviewer. I don't run with those people. They don't have a seat at my table. because I don't want them there. I'm up to something, and I want other people that are up to something. I want people that were willing to get their asses kicked in the game of life like I am, that are willingly going to go through it and then share their lessons, share their struggles, share their hardships, create counsel with me so that I know I can have counsel with them, sharing in the process of playing the game. They're teammates, and then they're the opponents. I want them all. Those people have a seat at my table. Enough that I am playing the game of life with them. So the challenges you're facing right now, that you will face in the future, and what you have faced in the past, all are part of what separates you. It is, if you want, it's God's opportunity to help you stand out, to help you find the place that makes you mean something to others so that you can guide them through what you have gone through. That's your call. You can say, hey, life's happening to me and this sucks, and I'm a victim, because if life's happening to you, you're a victim, right? Guess what happens to a victim? They become disempowered. They give their power away in exchange for the hope of pity. And I'm sorry, but do not pity me. If you try pitying me, you're going to find that it becomes very dissatisfying to you, because I won't give you the return you expect. Be like, oh, poor Chad, I'm so sorry for you. I'll be like, yeah, I did this. This is my doing. That's me holding on to my power. I'm not giving it away. I got to pity me into letting go of what's opportunities for my future. Fuck that. I'm going for it. So the challenges that you have in front of you right now, you need to make a choice. And very likely when you make that choice, you're going to get your ass kicked, because you don't have the skills yet. You're out of your comfort zone. That ass kicking is helping you get to those skills. You got to make those calls, man. This is how you do life. This is how you play life. Also, here's something I've learned, and I think all of us can relate to this. What I wanted when I was young is not what the world is willing to give me. And I'll say that again. What I wanted when I was young is not what the world is willing to give me. My attachment to what I thought I wanted is part of the stress that I go through when it doesn't show up or doesn't happen. I put forth the effort that I believed whenever I was conceiving those ideas, or what I was picking up along the way before the opportunity to really play the game showed up. I sat there with this is how I'll do it. Hypothetically, theoretically, I'm going to do it this way. And then the outcome is, or during the game, I realized I'm ill-equipped. And life starts throwing some punches. We'll turn it into boxing, because boxing is also, it's a sport, so therefore it's a game. Boxing. I practiced. I've sparred and I've been fighting with all kinds of great fighters, and all the people that I could find that's the best fighters I could find. I've been fighting, man. And then getting to the point where they're all like, yeah, Chad's a fighter, man. Chad's got this. Chad's going to get in that ring, and he's going to kick life's ass. And then I get in there with that high level of confidence, because I've been building it up all these years, and all the lessons that I've been taking on, and pushing myself and feeling like I've got the right foundation. And then I get in and I just start getting my ass pummeled, because I am not ready. But the good thing about it is, while I'm getting my ass kicked, I am paying attention. I didn't catch that right jab. That hook got me. Why? Where's my body? What am I doing? How am I going to do differently in the future? No, my bob and weaves. How's my footwork? Am I delivering into my punches, or am I pulling them because of being concerned that I might actually not be able to commit enough to it, or that my extra commitment to the punch is going to leave me vulnerable? So I pull back. There's all those things working the experiences of life. Now, am I telling you this because I'm at some sort of great level where I'm a multi-billionaire and I've got all the things that people would want, so therefore they see me as the archetype of behavior that's necessary to get them there? Nope. You caught me in the journey. You caught me in the passing of it all. This is me in the stage. Now, take the lessons, take the hits. take it on because other people will sit. Other people will stand down, and they will dismiss the opportunity to grow, to stand out. Every time you sit down against the challenges that you're facing, you're sitting down with a bunch of other people that have all said, I can't do it. Most of the time we say, I can't do it now. A lot of times that just means I'm not going to do it. Because you're just not disciplined enough to go back to it. You know, you're waiting for the right time. Well, I'll tell you, there is no right time. You just do it. The other thing is, even if you have no clarity about what's coming next, you're afraid that the future is going to collapse under you. The foundation of everything about what you have built up is going to be taken away tomorrow. You don't know, maybe it's not tomorrow, but really soon. You've got that idea. So you sit down because you're afraid of losing it all, and you try to knuckle down and hold on to whatever you've already got so desperately that life says you've got lessons that you're going to learn. And if you're not willing to take the lesson, life's going to give it to you. So you got to pick it. You either let life give you that lesson and you resist it, or you take it and you say, you know what? Yes, I just got it kicked. You'll figure out a way. Now, you might lose some of the things you're attached to, but you're going to gain more. You're investing. Same thing with investing. You take money, you give that money to something that's separate from you. Stock market. You don't just say, hey, I'm going to put this much money, but it stays in your bank account. No, it has to transfer into the stock. Something that is representing the stock. It has to leave you to sit on the line, which means that you just lost resources. With the desire, it gives you something back. Same as life. You gotta put it out there that you're gonna lose stuff, because that's how you get so much more in return. You gotta play the gamble. But your goal is to continue to develop yourself so that everything moving forward is a little more capable of accomplishing it. There are things that are available to you right now because you're not conditioned, you can't see it, and you're not going to see it because you don't have the ability. You got to go through shit, and you got to push through it. You got to stay on task. It evolves, but you got to keep your target enough that you can see, yes, what I thought yesterday was good enough to accomplish what I'm doing today. But that's not the attachment. Is you don't want to be so attached that as soon as the thing changes a little bit, you freak out and you think you're on the wrong path. I got a good friend of mine, his name's Greg. He worked as as an electrician for a power company. Smart guy, very smart guy. Hopefully I'll do a video with him in the near future. He thought that working for the power company was going to be his future. And it was a pretty good part of his future. That's how we met, working at the power company. And he started a little side thing on, because he didn't realize, he had some background and whatever, and he started a roofing company. His roofing company in the first year made him more money than he made his entire career. And that was, I want to say, 17 or 18 years in his entire career. In 1 year, he made more money because he took the gamble, he took the risk, he took on the opportunity. He got his ass kicked along the way, I'm sure. We'll talk about it whenever we get to that conversation. But he also got his ass kicked becoming good at being an electrician, working for the power company. So my point is this: take it on. Take it on. Because somebody else won't. And the more you're willing to take on, the greater the reward. You just got to have faith that it's going to work. And faith is when you attach yourself to an outcome, but don't make the outcome so defined as much as, there's a target that you're shooting at, and you're unwilling to let that target go. That's aiming the right way. Set it and have faith to hold on to it. Because that faith is your belief that it will happen. You just don't know yet. Just like hope is desire without structure. Because if you had the structure, you wouldn't say hope. You would just call it by what it is. That's it. You'd say the process. You'd say the process. One point in time, you might have said, I hope I make it to my destination. And then you did the driving necessary to get familiar with the distance and all the turns. And you don't say, hope I get there anymore. You just say, I'll be there by this time, because you can actually estimate the timeline at that point. We all do it. It's just we don't seem to give ourselves the privilege to let it get out of those specific categories like driving. So, all right, stick to it. Stay with it. Push through. Get your ass kicked. It's okay. It's okay. Just don't give up. Keep getting your ass kicked. It's like Rocky, man. You see somebody wanting to throw in the towel for you, tell them no. Do not throw in that towel. Keep going. It happens. So, all right, that's it for today. My name, Chad Everett Broshears, or search Chad Everett Broshears to some. If you know, you know. This is the Maturity Project. Share this video with those in your life you want to break the ice with, and you think you can make a meaningful conversation with them. You can use this as a jump-off point. We got a world to address, but we got to work on ourselves first, because the path to hell is paved with good intentions. And right now we are in a society hell-bent on creating a superhighway to hell. We got to be the disruptors. We got to be the ones that save it all. We are the cavalry. Let's get to it. All right. Till next time. Don't forget, comment in the comments section. And yeah, join me in this journey, will you? All right. Comment in the comment section what you're getting out of this. Remember, there's 8 areas of maturity. Keep track of this and subscribe to the channel. Write them down and see how your life works. I will get some stuff out in the very near future for you guys to be able to download or to be able to take access to and start working on. So until next time, let's get to it. See ya.